10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's so much hype. Oh my god, it's so much hype. It's almost time.
Well, it's just perpetuating once again.
So much hype right now. Oh, here we go.
Hype for nothing then, aren't we? Done by changing.
Oh, it's almost time.
Come on, sing me with my podcast.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. It's time. It happened.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to
We did it.
mind?
Happy New Year.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and the days of old lang syne?
Did it. 20. Welcome to 2019, Logan. So, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. It's a Mario game, it's 2D, it's in the same art style, and it's being ported to Nintendo Switch. It's one of them new Super Mario Bros. Games that we got on the DS, Wii, Wii U, 3DS, everything under the sun. I believe we got two in 1 year, and that was the year that came out, 2012, I believe this came out originally. People pretty burnt out on the whole new Super sort of design for the Mario Bros. Games. And this game came out when everybody was kind of burnt out, and it was another one of those games, kind of. It was launched out for the Wii U, and it wasn't the greatest impression ever. People were kind of annoyed at this game when it first came out. Now, replaying it in 2019, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good Mario game. It was 2D, platforming. You also get some of the DLC. Well, you get all the DLC. You get the new Luigi U DLC, which is £20 extra, so you are getting a little bit more content there. You also play as Toadette and Peachette as well, so there is some more new content there. But it is the same core Mario design, really, really well designed 2D levels, lots of multiplayer fun, one sort of story mode, a couple of challenges. There's content here, not a ton of it though. I mean, if you want to really go into this game, you could. There's a lot of stuff here if you want to. There's not really much incentive to do this. There's no online. It is strictly a co-op game. I say co-op in the sense of like being next to somebody. Couch co-op. It's strictly couch co-op. You can the single player is there, and it's probably the best way to enjoy it. Yeah, the game ran great, obviously. I believe it's been upscaled to 1080p, and the game does look very, very, very crisp. I noticed that it looks very, very nice, blown up on a TV, looks beautiful, and then again, also in handheld with that smaller screen, does look great as well. For some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm being insane by saying this, but I feel like it looks, in some ways, I think it looks kind of sharper and kind of better than Mario Maker, but that kind of makes sense because, with this game, it's just pulling all of its pre-made levels from a cartridge. Mario Maker, it has to sort of get the levels from a server and make it and all the rest of it. So, I mean, maybe I'm wrong by that. I just feel like this game looks a little bit more crisp when it's playing. 1080p, I believe, docked 720 handheld. Runs perfect. Again, I think people are very, very burnt out on this sort of art style of game. There's 50 million different games all based on this sort of art style. I think people are burnt out. I think people are still burnt out on this. Yeah, I don't know. This was a very, very early release in the year, 11 days in. I'll be honest, you can kind of see why they did it so early in, because, they have Mario Maker coming out in June. It was kind of a lot of people got Switches for Christmas or Smash. This is a big sort of casual game. They wanted to get all the casuals buying more Switch games with their Switch money. Maybe the casuals aren't even playing Switches now, but, that early point of the year when everybody has a new Switch, they wanted a new game. That's why they launched it, and I feel like some people maybe cheated on the fact that, they brought out this game, then a month later announced Mario Maker 2. I don't know. I mean, I sold my Wii U copy for this game, so I didn't really lose that much money on it. I did enjoy it. Nabbit is also a new addition as well. I didn't mention that. Yeah, Nabbit. That's a brand new addition for the game. Yeah, it's fine. Looking at it itself, not going off other games and solely looking at this as a experience in itself. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. But looking at it in a long term and a wider sort of scale, there's countless better games. I feel like you can get for Nintendo Switch. I just think Mario Maker. Honestly, you're gonna get more time out of it. The story mode that you're gonna spend here is probably about the same length as Mario Maker story mode. Plus, Mario Maker has an unlimited amount of levels. I don't really know on this one. I mean, I did enjoy it as a game, and looking at it a game fundamentally as just this game, it's very, very good. But when there's other stuff available on the market, I don't really see much reason to go back and pick this one up. Up next, releasing on March the 29th, is Yoshi's Crafted World. Game kind of caught me by surprise, honestly. We had a little bit of a wait for new Switch games. We didn't really have anything for February, and January wasn't off to a great start. But this is the true first brand new Switch game of the year. Originally announced in 2017. It came out. Yoshi's Crafted World did really, really like this one. I like my platformers. I like my 2D platformers. I do like this game. I do like the visuals in this game. I like how everything looks like it's made out of paper and everything all looks crafted. Very, very cute. Very, very enjoyable time there. Yep, what can I say? Very, very fun game. Very, very fun game to play. Yep, it's pretty good. It's a standard Yoshi game, really. The game did look beautiful docked, I've got to say. Docked, it did look beautiful. However, handheld, it really did take a hit in terms of the resolution. I think it was less than 720p while in handheld, and things can look a little bit blurry because this game sort of introduced a new way of playing Yoshi. It introduced a forward view and a behind view, added layers to the levels, which is a very, very fun idea. I did like that about the game. I did like that, but I feel like it kind of restricted the game's visuals in some way. It made things look a little bit blurry, but it was a fun new mechanic. In this game, you can also play the levels backwards as well, which was nice. It kind of felt a little bit like just extending your time with the game, and this is kind of my main problem with the game. The game did have its own, fair share of length to it. It had a, 10-15 hour story mode. You work through it, and in Woolly World you had different collectibles to find, that being the different flowers or the gems or whatever. With this, it's kind of just go here and shoot this one thing that is made, and you kind of have to go back through a level, find this thing, find the Poochies. It felt a little bit cheap. It felt like it was just stealing my time and wasn't really doing much. So I didn't 100% it, but I did enjoy the story mode. Yeah, it was pretty good. I feel like with this, I did enjoy the story mode. I felt like the post game was pretty lackluster. There wasn't much incentive to do. There wasn't really that much achievements. It was a nice little 10-hour single-player adventure. If this was made by any other company other than Nintendo, it would have been a £30, £20 release, and that would have been perfectly fine. I feel like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and Yoshi's Crafted World kind of fall under the same trap of being overpriced for their own good. Mario Bros. U Deluxe could have been easy £30, and so could Yoshi's Crafted World. That being said, I did really enjoy my time with it, but that being said, £30 would have probably been a better price for it. Up next, after CTR, was Super Mario Maker 2, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It was Super Mario Maker 2. It felt very, very similar to the first Super Mario Maker, and that's perfectly okay. That's fine. The first Mario Maker was great, and this game just sort of felt like it was built upon that. Now, one thing I did really notice with this game is that it has a really decently long story, a 20-hour long story mode. We have to rebuild Peach's castle. Now, it's not really that in-depth as something as New Super Mario Bros. U, but for the same year, for Nintendo, for someone who bought New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe in January and then in June have this limitless Mario game with a story mode built in, it does feel kind of a little bit weird that they did that, and I'd be kind of annoyed if I'd have just bought New Deluxe and only could afford one game and couldn't get a second one. It just seems a little bit weird that they did that, but
you know, either way, they did it. They launched it. Mario Maker 2 came out, and I did like it. I just feel it plays itself pretty safe, in my opinion. You know, Mario Maker 2 story mode, beautiful. You rebuild the castle. You can play the levels and stuff. It's a Mario game. The story mode feels like a normal Mario game. No problems there. There is some new features, music, and there's some like general sort of quality of life improvements to the level maker, like the level editor with the music and then the slopes and the rest of it. So there is some new little bits in there, and there's some revamped online, and there's some new little hints of things. But I don't feel like there's enough new content there. You know, like they got rid of the amiibos. They got rid of those in the game. I don't know, I just feel like the game in itself, if you haven't played the first one, is very, very good, but I feel like Mario Maker 2 just builds upon the first one, which is perfectly okay, but personally I expected a little bit more content, a little bit more reason to play. The medals you can get are still in the game. The layout is very, very similar to last time. You know, these medals, I'll be honest, do take forever to get. They do take forever to get, and they're very, very hard to get, and I'll know I'll never ever get them. And apart from playing everybody else's levels online, which you can do, obviously, as the first one, you could play other people's levels online, and this one you can do as well. It just, you know, I just feel like there should be some more incentive, you know, maybe some unlockables. I mean, you can unlock different costumes for your me in the game and for your profile, but it's like, it doesn't tell you when to get them. It doesn't tell you, do this challenge and get that. It just sort of... it just sort of vaguely says it wants you to do something. So maybe have some kind of objective to get certain things, to unlock certain things, and then, I don't know, there you go. So that's a minor little nitpick with the game. You know, maybe the amiibo costumes should come back. I don't know, it just seems weird that they took them out. I don't know. It's just what they did. Maybe they could have had like a battle pass kind of tier system where you can unlock different amiibo stuff. I don't know, like play 3 levels, get to the flagpole in 3 super hard levels, and get the, I don't know, Sonic 8-bit skin, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, I just feel like this game sort of built off the same engine as Mario Maker 1, added a few new things, and boom, there you go, it's out on Switch, which is fine in itself. The game itself is fine, but for a sequel I feel like a little bit more was needed. Also, there's been like no DLC at all. Like, there's no DLC. I mean, people complain that you couldn't play online with friends, which they've now patched in, thank God. People are happy about that. That's great. You know, amazing. But, yeah, there's been no DLC, which has really, really surprised me. Because it's like extra game modes, I believe it says on the level editor, and yeah, no sign of new game modes, nothing. So that's very, very strange how we had no DLC. But, you know, that being said, Mario Maker 2 does exactly what it says on the tin. That's what I started this sort of review with. Yeah, it does exactly what it sets out to do. You can play countless people's levels online. You can play your own levels. You can play your friends' levels. There's like local play now, which they added in. Yeah, you know, it's very, very good at what it does. But I'm a little bit confused by it, and I wish there's a little bit more juicy new content there. This game kind of feels like Mario Maker 1, Mario Maker for the 3DS, and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe all crammed into one as a new package, which I think is what they've done here. But I know I'm hoping for some DLC in the new year. Maybe we could get some DLC maybe next June, after a year it's been out. I don't know, maybe by the time this video's out, maybe there's going to be some DLC, I don't know. Anyway, did really like Mario Maker 2, I feel like it does a lot right. Just wish for a little bit more content, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So earlier this year, I've been playing a lot of Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition for Nintendo Switch, the really, really fun hack and slash Legend of Zelda game for Switch. I've been really enjoying that at the beginning of this year. Played it, beat it, did all the stuff I needed to do with the game, and finished it. You know, that was it. I really like that sort of hack and slash style gameplay. I never played a game like that before, so I really wanted to get a game that was similar to this with a hack and slash sort of style. I don't like Fire Emblem, I don't like Dynasty Warriors, I do like Marvel, and when this game was announced and more gameplay was coming out, I was immediately intrigued at the hack and slash style Marvel big budget game. And I thought it was very good. You know, it did have some problems, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't great, but I thought it was pretty good. I love the fact that it has a pretty much full roster of Marvel characters. I love the different locations. I love the story mode within the game. Lots of content was in it, really. I liked its big, massive boss fights, and I liked its loads big, massive open levels, and the story mode that were sort of had all the Marvel characters in, the online, and lots of content was here, and it really did catch me by surprise. It had its own sort of nice style. It looked like it was coming out of the comic. It really did surprise me. The game was great. Everybody had its own unique move set. It had what seemed to be a pretty high budget, and it was exclusive for Switch. Yeah, lots of content out of it. I got a good 30 hours of it, just out of the 30-hour story mode. I didn't do any of the extras. I really enjoyed this one. If you like the Marvel films, if you like the MCU, if you like Marvel comic books, if you like hack and slash games, if you like any of this, if any of this sounds slightly appealing to you, please do get it. It is a very, very good game. You'll really, really enjoy it. Very, very good Switch game. Exclusive as well. I don't know how Nintendo did it. And you know, now the other games kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth. No one's really talking about it. Everyone's just going, okay, it came out, and now it's it. Yeah, no one's saying anything, so it's a shame. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. Now there was a couple of faults with it. You know, in certain areas, it didn't look that great. Some of the frame rate wasn't great, but if you can imagine all the super moves and everything going off, of course, frame rate's not going to be great. Also, you know, the camera was a little bit weird. You could change it in the settings, but it was kind of a top-down view, which kind of made it look like a little bit of a cheaper game than it really was. You can change the camera to sort of it brings it down. You can do like a 3D camera. Yeah, sort of the style of Splatoon, like a third person or Mario Odyssey sort of style. You can bring the camera around at some areas, and some areas it's a 3D camera, and some areas it isn't. My only real complaint was that, you know, there wasn't a really strong online community as well. Like, you could play online, but nobody really was. It'd take a while to get into matches online, and I also think with the camera as well, if they could have fixed those two things, I think we could have been looking at a pretty 100 out of 100% good game right there. But it was still pretty good. I did enjoy it. I like me some Marvel. I like some hack and slash. Yeah, perfect game in my eyes. Very, very good. I did enjoy it. Go check it out if you seem interested, because it'd be good. Astral Chain is the biggest non-third party game for Nintendo Switch. And I say that because, to look at this game, if somebody was to tell you what console it was running on, what it's exclusive to, the design and just general tone of the game, I wouldn't be surprised if they said it was a PlayStation game. It feels like one of those exclusive JRPG action PlayStation games. It really does. But that's not a bad thing. It's just the most surprising thing ever that this is exclusive to Nintendo Switch. And I really did enjoy my time with Astral Chain. It's a really, really fun, rapid action, sci-fi game set in the future. Amazing. Really, really, really good. I love it. It takes place in the future. You're taking over these big legion, they're called monsters, robot monster things, taking over the planet, progressing through the story. I won't spoil the story, but it always gives you a sense of direction. There's some puzzles in there, there's action combat in there, there's a story in there, there's people to talk to. You know, there's little directions on a map showing you where to go. You're police, you're part of the police, helping this world progress, and you're the only member, I think your team are the only people on the planet that can actually help the world. It's a very, very fun game, and what can I say without spoiling too much? Very, very beautiful game. I love it a lot. I really do like Astral Chain. Now, another thing I want to say is this game is beautiful. You start off with a game with like a motorbike section where it's raining and you're in like an underground tunnel and you're like shooting people and you're dodging backwards and forwards, and yeah, it just looks beautiful. And this sort of kind of makes it feel like, you know, it is a third party game, because just one, how good it looks, and two, the sort of style. You wouldn't expect that from Nintendo. And yeah, I believe Platinum Games made it, which are the people behind Bayonetta. So there you go. Yeah, did really like Astral Chain. I love it a lot. Yeah, I'm on the 6th chapter out of the 10 or 12. Yeah, I want to beat it. And hoping to beat that by the end of the year, because lots of good stuff is coming out and I've been a bit busy. But yeah, from what I've played, really do like Astral Chain. If you like your action, adventure, sci-fi stuff, if you like Bayonetta, if you like, I don't know, Persona kind of. I don't know, I've never really played Persona, I just don't know why I said that. But yeah, if you like it, you like it, and I do really like it. I know some people are a little bit hit or miss with it. You know, some people really like it, or some people really hate it. A little bit like Marmite in that way, but I really like it, so there you go. That's Astral Chain. Very, very vague review there, but I don't want to spoil it because it's very, very story based, and I feel like a lot of it is to be enjoyed with the story. But there's, you know, the actual combat itself is great. You know, you have your Legion, which is your robot monster. I kind of want to put it in dumb terms, robot monster, which you carry around, and that can have like 6 different types, which would be like a sword type, which will take on to defeat some enemies, and there'll be an arm type that you'll take on to defeat other enemies. Yeah, really, really fun game. Did really like it. If you like your big long story adventure games, I say long. This is about 15 hours, but still very, very good. If you like your story games, you like your action, you're gonna like Astral Chain. I liked it very, very much, and if you like it, get it. If you don't, then that's a shame. Pick something else. I like it, and I thought it was good. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is a perfect remake of the 1993 Game Boy release, and that's what it is. It's a remake of a Game Boy release. That means that all the charm is there from the Game Boy, yet also a lot of the mistakes and a lot of the old dated design are also here from the Game Boy. From the moment you start up the game, you can tell that the game is beautiful. It's got its own unique toy style art. There's no way to really describe it. It is art, and it's its own unique design. The Switch itself does struggle to run this design a little bit. There is some frame rate drops here and there, but it is a very, very beautiful design. I love how the background and all the at the top, at the bottom, are all faded out, so you can focus on the action that you need to be focusing on. Not only has this been done for aesthetics, it's also been done to match the Game Boy's original aspect ratio of 4:3. That's kind of how the game was designed. It was designed in squares, and you go around the game, and the game loads in squares. That's why the game's kind of faded out around the edge, because it has to fit that 4:3 ratio. So it's nice to see that the devs really put their time into remaking the game. They didn't just take each square of the original Game Boy game and remake it. They added in the extra backgrounds. Time was taken on this release, and you can see it. And time was also taken on the cutscenes too. The game opens and ends on beautiful anime-style Zelda cutscenes, which makes me beg for a kind of Netflix show in this style. These are truly, truly beautiful cutscenes in this game. You play the game as Link, who gets stranded on Cocoa Island and has to collect 8 different instruments. These instruments then awaken the giant windfish egg at the end of the game. All 8 of these different instruments, all hidden in dungeons. These dungeons have to be found by yourself and also talk to people to give you certain things to let you get into certain areas. It's a real trial and error of the game, trying to find a dungeon, how to get past a certain rock, how to get to a dungeon, what to do in that dungeon. The game is an adventure game, but it's also very, very puzzly. But I believe this is where the game is most dated. For example, you have to do a trading sequence to get certain items to unlock certain dungeons. The game doesn't really tell you anything, which is good. It doesn't hold your hand, but a lot of the things are so out of the blue and so random and so confusing that the only way you would know is by looking up a guide and or playing the game for ages and hours on end. Which works fine for the original Game Boy release, as they wanted to pull out the longevity of the game, make you be playing the game as long as possible. But in 2019, we could have done with a hint, we could have done with a mission sort of structure to let you know what you need to do. Similar to Breath of the Wild, where it told you the exact area, what you need to do, how to do it. That's what we need in the game. It doesn't make the game easier because you still have to complete the task. It just gives you some kind of guideline on where to go. There's a beautiful map in this game which unlocks the more you play, but the map doesn't tell you anywhere to go. It just shows you the world you're in. It doesn't tell you anything, which some people will like. Some people don't like holding your hand. I get that, but to me, I feel like some kind of mission structure should have been there to sort of show players what they need to do. With this being a remake, I don't really know why this wasn't added. Or they could have at least had an option where you could add this in or just have it out and play it like the original. Have an option in the future, I think. It was very, very jarring to go into a game where you're told very, very minor, vague things by characters, but not actually told what to do, which I guess some people would like, but it wasn't really what I was expecting with the game. You can see that other games have really been influenced by this release. For example, the original release of 1998's Pokemon. You know, you go round 8 different places and collect things, which then unlock a final area. Sounds very similar to Pokemon. 8 different gyms, then the Elite Four. Yeah, 8 different instruments, and then the Windfish Egg. It does take a lot of inspiration from that, and this feels, in a weird way, kind of like a Pokemon game. It's it's weird. Without the actual mechanics of its exploration and adventure is very, very similar to Pokemon. And it's weird how similar these games are. You wouldn't expect them to be, but they really are. And it's actually just hit me how similar Pokemon and Zelda actually are. I mean, look at Breath of the Wild, a huge open world game with loads of grass and things to do. Sword and Shield looks very, very similar to that. And yeah, it has just hit me how similar Zelda games and Pokemon games are very, very similar. With all that being said though, the game was an absolute joy to play and I loved the structure of it. You knew when the game was going to end and you knew how long you had left. I like that. I like how, you know, we've got to get 8 different instruments and you could slowly chip away at the game and do it in structure. I like that. That's my kind of complaint with Breath of the Wild. You didn't really know what you was doing and you didn't know how far you were at the end. I like the structure. I like we'll do this egg, this instrument, this thing over. I like that. I like the structure of the game. Now, without spoiling too much, Link's Awakening on Nintendo Switch is an absolute joy to play. If you have the time and patience to really speak to every character, to lift every rock and burn every bush, then you're going to have a lot of hours out of this, and you're going to have a lot of fun while doing so. But you need to be patient, you need to talk to everybody, and you need to take the game slow. If you want to sort of rush through the game like I did, you can look at countless guides on YouTube, and that might be fun, but I feel that the best way of playing it is really trial and error, and really devoting time into this. With that being said, the Game Boy game does follow the same rules, and I wish more would have been added into the Switch version to make it a little bit easier to get into for newer players. With that being said, I still loved my time with Link's Awakening, and I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. This game is an RPG. This game is a full turn-based RPG with items, unlockables, shops to go to different things, a whole, story to it with characters and a villain and everything. This is an RPG, and this has lots of RPG elements. Now, it's not as fleshed out as something like Xenoblade or something like that, or Final Fantasy. We're not going to get that sort of thing, but it is a very, very long RPG. Now, Ring Fit Adventure obviously shows the game and goes through the game with you using the Ring-Con, the new Joy-Con-like device, and yeah, it's very, very cool. It's like a big, massive plastic ring that can be squeezed, and it's very, very strong. You can really put some effort and power onto this ring. It's not going to split. It's really, really powerful ring. And you squeeze it, and the Joy-Con somehow knows how you can turn it and how you can squeeze it. And a lot of fun is had there. It does feel like a controller. It doesn't feel like a gimmick. You know, of course, with the Wii and that, you know, the balance board and everything, that felt like an add-on. That felt like a gimmick. This actually feels like a controller, and that's kind of what it is in the name. It's the Ring controller. You're in control of what's going on. And that's what I like about Ring Fit Adventure, because I'm in control of what's happening in the gameplay. I know what I'm doing. I need to run. I'm in control of me running. I don't feel like it's just a load of minigame compilations or just me doing some stretches. Of course, it does recommend you do the stretches, and you know there is different certain yoga moves and different moves that you have to do with the Ring-Con, obviously to make it a fitness game, but you feel like you're in control of what's going on, and you feel like you're actually progressing and wanting to do well within the game itself. What I like about the game is that it's got about 20 worlds. Each world takes about an hour to do, so each world maybe has about 5-6 levels in it, and that'll take you about an hour. Well, it kind of depends how fit you are, but it took me about an hour to do each world, so I'm going to at least get 20 hours out of the story mode. Plus, you have to take into account that you have to level up your character a little bit more to make it stronger, and also have to take into account the other things that you do within the game. So, if you have a bunch of stacked ammo, what am I thinking? Stacked items and stuff like that, they should be good. So, yeah, it kind of varies on how long you're going to spend on this game, but it is 20 worlds. They do take about an hour-ish on average, I'd say, to complete, and it is a lot of fun. Now, there's also an online leaderboard, and there's also individual little warm-ups you can do, which is really, really nice. But if you also want to keep playing the game and keep grinding and keep collecting things, you can see the little coins in the hub world or in the game itself. What you can do is you can collect those, and you can suck them up using the ring, and you can then spend that on more costumes and really change your character, and just sort of change your character's looks and how they dress and the rest of it. So yeah, very, very cool how they did that. It kind of reminds me very, very similar to ARMS, and I have a theory of this game. I feel like if this game, if ARMS would have been more successful and ARMS would have been what I think Nintendo would have thought it would have been, I feel like this game could have been an ARMS sequel. Arms and Legs, maybe it would have been called Arms and Legs, I don't know. But yeah, it does feel very, very similar to ARMS, not only in the character design, and I think the ARMS characters would fit perfectly into this game, but I also think that they've sort of similarly crafted the way that you play the game. Obviously, there is that core mode there, and there's an online mode there too. But really, the fun part in this game is beating the story and then going around getting coins and unlocking more parts. And that's what ARMS really was for me. You know, I didn't see it as this big first person or, you know, one player, single player experience. I saw it as the online mode, grinding for coins and then grinding for the coins and then spending them in the shop to unlock more ARM parts. So this sort of gameplay style and the way it works, unlocking stuff, I really like, and I really like that. And it's a bonus to me that I can obviously get fitter or exercise or whatever the case may be while doing it. And I feel like it's a really good incentive to, you know, maybe somebody, maybe you know, someone who wants to use this doesn't want to really go out for a run. They're not really motivated to do that. This can really motivate you to do it because of the things you unlock. You've got a reason to do it. Yeah, the reason is just to change, you know, your character's top or your character's trousers or the character's hair, but it's some kind of incentive to do it, you know. We've seen Nintendo obviously experimenting with the past with fitness games, and that be, you know, with Ring Fit that we've just seen now, or Wii Fit, or, you know, even to an extent Pokemon Go. But in my opinion, I think this is the best Nintendo fitness game we've got so far, and I think it was one of my favourite games for Nintendo Switch this year. It really did genuinely take me by surprise. I really did like Ring Fit Adventure. Alright, so Luigi's Mansion. Back in October, early November, I did a really good video, I thought, talking about my early thoughts with the game, and I'm going to show you that now because that's basically just going to echo what I'm saying here. I'd like to just add a couple more points before we go into that video though. I just want to say that I have some changed opinions about the game. Now, looking back on the game right now, I really did enjoy its story mode. I thought it was long enough, I thought it was great, I like the structure of it, I like how it's very, very similar in a sense to Mario Odyssey, with that, you know, 15, 16, 17 odd different kingdoms, and then you slowly unlock each kingdom as you go along. Luigi's Mansion kind of did that as well with the buttons in the lift. I like that. You can do like one floor, then the next floor, then the next floor, then the next floor. You can't go jumping around. It's kind of like, it's linear, but it's not fully linear. I really like that. And one point I do want to bring up is the online mode. I'm not sure if I brought that up in my other video or not, but yeah, I want to bring up the online mode. I did like the online mode for what it was. I thought it ran perfectly, and I thought it ran really, really well. I do like it. I think it's okay. You know, don't really have any problems with that within itself, but I feel like there's a lot of potential there where the online mode really could have been a little bit more than it actually was. You know, a level up system. You know, some kind of unlockables, or, you know, change Luigi's looks, or change Luigi's, you know, unlock more stuff. I don't know, just some kind of incentive to play online. But whatever I did play online, it ran well. You know, I had no issues, which is really, you know, unsurprising for, you know, this kind of game on me. You know, a first party game. You know, I'll admit some of the games don't run perfectly, but from every time I played online with this, it ran pretty well. And considering, you know, what's going through the Switch for online, there's 8 people all connected together, and you know, all going around these rooms, and it's a lot of fun. So it's kind of strange to me that ran as well as it did, but I'm happy it did. I know we are getting some more paid DLC, so that's kind of why I don't really want to make a big deal on this. I just, you know, I wanted to mention it as the base game, as we're getting it in 2019. There's not a bunch of stuff to do with the online, but I don't think that's really the focus of the game. The focus of the game is really just in that core single player, that sort of thing. So it's not a massive deal that the online isn't there. It's kind of like an extra additive in the way online was Super Mario Odyssey with the balloon world and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's nice that we have it. It is pretty advanced and in-depth if you look at it that way, but if you want to buy this game for an online mode, you're not really going to get it. Buy it for the single player, enjoy the single player. It's one of the best experiences I've had on Nintendo Switch, so I really do like that. Again, I think it's kind of one of those things, in a way it very much feels like a sequel to Odyssey for me in this way, because of how, you know, it follows the sort of level structure of it, and how it also has a little bit of an online mode. I don't know, it just feels very, very similar to Odyssey for me, and I really enjoyed my time with Luigi Mansion 3. Anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering on, because I'm probably going to keep echoing what I said in the video, but I'll show you the video that I made back in October, telling you all about my thoughts about the first impressions of the game, because I really did have some good first impressions, and those first impressions, for the most part, have really stuck and stayed true, and stuck throughout the whole gameplay, gameplay walkthrough, whatever you want to call it. I have really enjoyed this game all the way through. So yeah, this kind of just, I'm going to be saying the same thing as I've said in the video, but I really did enjoy Luigi Mansion 3, so let's take a look. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today we're going to be talking about Nintendo's latest release, that being Luigi's Mansion 3 for Nintendo Switch. I'm about halfway, 3/4 of the way through the game, very excited, playing it, do absolutely love it. This is what my first impressions, sort of just a talky sort of video, commentary video, not planned, not scripted, not anything like that. I'm just sort of going through my initial thoughts of the game, and yes, you know, from what I've played so far, I haven't finished it yet, but from what I've played so far over the weekend, I am loving it. I'm really liking it. It might be my Switch game of the year, honestly. I mean, this year's been good. We've had Crash Team Racing, Super Mario Maker 2, Legend of Zelda, lots of things have come out, but yeah, I think Luigi's Mansion 3 might be up there just because of the sheer amount of just time and effort that's really gone into this game. Now, a lot of Nintendo's games really have the quality and time in there, but this Luigi's Mansion, to me, at least, feels like a whole new other level. I feel like lots and lots of time, development and care has really gone into this game. Just the animations are so fluid and so amazing, and the little details in this game are beautiful. Like there's like a new animation every 5 seconds, which you think would be annoying, you know, having to see a new sort of cutscene every 5 minutes would be annoying. It's not, because these cutscenes are so enjoyable and so beautiful to see, and work so well with it. It just meshes so well with the actual release. Another thing I really like about the game is that it's kind of open world, but not open world at the same time. The game sort of randomly puts you in to this massive mansion that you go on in a visit, and you have a set area to go to. So you can go around all the mansion, but there'll be an objective if you press the start menu. So it'll give you an objective, and it'll say, go to the 8th floor and do this. And it knows where, it tells you where to go. And once you're on that floor, you can't really leave, and it's only a set small area you can go around, which is great because it's kind of a good mix of sort of a full, you know, a full massive mansion, but also that idea of you not getting lost, not knowing where to go, being stuck. That's kind of where The Legend of Zelda really had its problems, because in my opinion, I feel like Link's Awakening was a little bit confusing on where to go and what to do, but with this, I don't really feel like there's a problem with that at all. I feel like, you know, I know what I'm doing. It's just the puzzles in the game that, you know, are the hard part. Knowing where to go and what actually to do is the easy part due to its cutscenes, and the cutscenes constantly changing. And also knowing on the start menu where to go. Very good mission sort of structure there. I want to call it mission structure, it's kind of not. It's more of like a guide in the mansion. I'm just thinking of the castle level. It's sort of a guide of what to do. It's not too easy. It's not saying this is what you need to do. It's not holding your hand, but it's nice just to sort of see that kind of happy medium now that the developers have really got with the game, where you can go, you know, here's sort of what to do if you're struggling, but if you want to explore it by yourself, you can sort of do it, and it is very good how it does that. Also aesthetically, just amazing. Just aesthetically, the game looks beautiful. The little denim details on Luigi's hat and clothes are insane. Like, we don't need to see the denim on him always, but it is amazing that the developers have really taken their time with that. You know, logically, a cartoony style game like that doesn't need that much detail in the denim, but he really does have the little details. All the little stitches are beautiful. Just amazing how they've done this. It just really blows my mind how they've done this. And even the voice acting, everything down to the voice acting is great. You know, the little wah that Luigi does. There's so many different bits of voice acting. I don't think I've heard the same voice clip twice. I don't think I've seen the same animation twice. Beautiful thing. And another thing I like about the game is that I know I've already talked about the structure of it, but the way it feels a lot like Mario Odyssey. You know, Mario Odyssey, where you can go around the different kingdoms, do different things. It'll tell you that there's a button on each floor, and each button gives you the next floor, which will give you the next floor, and you work your way up the mansion, rescuing your friends, that being Mario, Luigi, and 2 Toads. Mario, Peach, and 2 Toads. So yeah, I really do like how that sort of, it adds structure to it, but also doesn't make it too mission based. It's not too linear, but it gives you a sense of progression and sort of a structure of what you're going to do next. So yeah, very beautiful. Another thing I've really noticed about the game is that everything is a 3D model, which is, again, a strange decision, a decision I like, but a strange decision nonetheless, because that would have taken a lot of time and effort, and you can tell that time and effort's gone into the game, but everything you see and everything you can suck up is completely a 3D model. It's a tangible model that will move. So there'll be like money flying up in the air, and Luigi can suck that up. That's a model moving about. You know, there's like chairs that aren't just sort of like artwork that they sort of place as like a backdrop. That's actually a chair you can pull up and pull and break, and there'll be like fluff coming out of it. And there's so many different 3D models in the game, and it's how the game's running it. I actually don't know. I feel like the resolution does kind of dip in and out from what I've heard from other people and from what I've seen. In certain areas, the resolution might be pretty high, and then it sort of dips out in different areas. That's kind of how the game sort of loads. So yeah, the game sort of, obviously you're in the mansion the entire time, but the game loads in a very, very clever way. So when you're actually in the lift itself or the elevator, and you put a button in, you select another room or another floor, that's while you're in that elevator walking around, as you would be going up into another floor, that's where the game's actually loading, where you're going to be next. So it's very, very clever how it loads, and there's technically no load times, which I like, but it kind of is a load time, if that makes sense. I don't know. Let me know if that makes sense. It kind of all in the background, how it all loads things in. So it's very, very cool how it does that. Yeah, like how it loads. And also, in terms of saving, there's no save button. Let me talk about this. So as you go into another room, it automatically loads that room, obviously. But when it loads that room, it saves. So every time you go in and out of a room, it saves, which is a beautiful thing. So there's no need for having to worry about, not saving or whatever. It automatically does it every single time you go in of a room. It is very, very clever and very, very special how it does that. And again, it's one of them things where I feel like Nintendo have really surprised people with Switch again, because everyone's just like, on paper, if we're going after a game, we're going to say, we're having a beautiful game with this intense graphics. This is how it loads. This is how, this is how it runs on Switch. This is a frame rate. This is resolution. On paper, to a lot of people, to me, I think a lot of people would agree with me on this. It doesn't seem that it would run on Switch. And I know it's a completely different game, but I'll reference it here. The Witcher as well. That happened recently. That came out recently, and that also ran amazingly on Switch. Again, it wasn't the full version of The Witcher. We can't expect that. That game is a massive open world game, but it really did work. It really did run. It was a playable version of the game, and it ran okay. Again, this is running better than okay, and it's just, I feel like the Switch is really just, really just pushing everybody's limits, really. Not pushing everyone's limits, just pushing the system's limits, and pushing people's expectations, really. Just really just pleasing people, and like, here's a beautiful game. Will it run on Switch? Yep. Will it run on Switch? Yep. I don't think there's a developer out there, or a company out there, or anything right now that is going, that can't run on Switch. There's no excuse anymore, which is beautiful, and that's how Luigi's Mansion really feels to me. Like, you thought we'd reached a point with Breath of the Wild, and you thought we reached a point with Mario Odyssey, where it's like, yep, this is peak how the Nintendo Switch games are going to look. Looks great, but that's peak. That's what we're expecting. I think Luigi Mansion has outdone Breath of the Wild and outdone Mario Odyssey, to be honest. I feel like it's done better than that. And now with things like The Witcher and the Outer Worlds coming, I mean, yeah, they take a lot of time. They take money and time to develop, so we're not going to get like these big third-party games on release, but, what can't come to Switch? If The Witcher can come to Switch, what can't at this point? And if a game as good-looking as Luigi's Mansion can run pretty much perfectly on Switch, what can't? Basically what I'm saying here with Luigi Mansion is, it's running perfect, it's got a perfect structure. I love it. I absolutely love Luigi's Mansion 3 for Nintendo Switch. I think it's beautiful. I think the structure of it is a perfect flowing game. It feels very, very high budget. It feels very, very high budget. Yeah, I feel like Next Level Games, I believe, has developed this. Yeah, I thought this, to look at it, you would think it would be a first party. Nintendo actually made this in terms of its budget. It really does feel quality. Very, very good. I am absolutely loving Luigi's Mansion 3. From what I've played so far, I'll be happy to give it a solid 9 out of 10. If you're wondering why I said 9 out of 10, that's because I have one slight problem with the game. Slight problem with the game is that the online mode, which does run pretty good and does run okay, I've played a couple of matches of it, is a lot of fun. It doesn't really give you much incentive to play it. That's my only concern. There's also multiplayer modes as well, which are very, very cool to have there, but you can't play them single player as well. And the online modes are there, and you can play them, but there's not incentive to play it. Maybe a level up system, or new skins for Luigi, or something to unlock. it's not really there. So there's no real post-game content. I think you can also unlock the Boo flashlight and a different suction cup or a different vacuum. Yeah, nah, there's not a lot of post-game content here. There's not a lot to unlock. That being said, the story, the multiplayer modes, and the online are great in themselves, but there's no real post-game content. There's nothing else to unlock. So if you're expecting this game to be long and give you lots of hours, something like Smash Bros. Or Splatoon 2 or Mario Maker, it's not really going to get you there. But that being said, the actual core gameplay, the core story, the core online is great, and I have to rate it high for that. But in terms of its longevity and the actual like the leveling up and the progression and more things to do in the post game are pretty lackluster. Similar to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. The core content is there. The core content works fine. It is perfect. No problems there. But there's not a lot of post game content there. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching my sort of review of Luigi's Mansion 3. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I absolutely love this game. My only problem is it's not that long, about 10-15 hours long, and there's not a lot of post-game content there. Similarly, the same could be said for The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and Astral Chain, and countless other games. So it's not really a massive complaint. That's why I gave it a 9 out of 10, but it would have been nice, because we have got that online mode, it was teasing at something more happening, you know. I don't know. I really did love this game nonetheless, and please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care. I'll see you in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Alright, so Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympic Games. Now, I'm very sort of confused on this one, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I don't think it's bad, I don't think it's good, I think it's just very meh, very middle of the road. Yeah, pretty good for what it was. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it either. It was kind of in that little bit of a blur from Luigi's Mansion, then going into Pokemon. But for what I played, it was pretty good. The story mode was decent, I liked the story mode. That was a lot of fun for me, and yeah, it was pretty good. It felt a little bit cheap at some points, but I don't think I'm the target audience for this, so I'll be honest. I think this game is more aimed at like people that play as a family, or people playing this at parties, or whatever the case may be, because the mini games just don't appeal to me. For a single player experience, it's not great. I know Logan's getting this game in he's hoping to get it for Christmas. So if Logan gets that for Christmas, maybe I can try the online mode with him. I don't really know, but for what it was as a single player experience, I don't really think that I'm the target audience for this, and that's perfectly okay, because I think it's more aimed at families, which is fair enough. But that being said, I really did enjoy Super Mario Party last year. I don't know. One thing I will say is, though, I feel like this game is probably better value than Mario Tennis Aces. Take from that what you will. Mario Tennis Aces is a lot more in depth, and the story mode is probably a little bit better, but I feel like this you get a lot more variety, you get more characters, more mini games, more sports. You know, not bad, not good, pretty good, just meh, you know, a passable. It's okay, it's pretty good. I don't know what other words to say. If you like your Sonics, you like your Marios, you'll get a kick out of it, but yeah, there you go. Mario and Sonic. It's pretty good, but please don't overhype it in your head. It's Mario and Sonic. It's Mario and Sonic. Alright, so Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, as core gameplay goes, this is a Pokemon game, which may be a bad thing or maybe a good thing. If you don't like Pokemon, if you've never liked the 3DS games, you've never liked the Game Boy games, you've never liked anything to do with Pokemon, you're not going to like this. And I'll be honest with you, Game Freak, in my eyes, haven't really evolved with us where, you know, they really should have with the system. I'll be honest with you. But for what it was, if you like the Pokemon experience, if you like the 3DS games, if you like everything to do with Pokemon, if you like the sort of, you know, learning all the Pokemon's names and learning the designs, you're going to like this one, because you're going to be able to see what the new is and where the old isn't. So you can sort of check that out within the game. As someone who's quite a casual Pokemon player, I've only played a few Pokemon games. I can probably count on one hand how many Pokemon games I've actually played. So, you know, for someone who's sort of played a little bit of 3DS, played a little bit of this, played a little bit of that, I was kind of unimpressed by this game's visuals and that sort of thing, and what Pokemon were new, what Pokemon was old, what was actually new for my money, because I know they've they had a lot of 3DS models in there and that sort of thing, and it didn't look that great. I know the towns are new a little bit, and there's the wild area, and there's little bits that are new, but I felt it was a lot of new and old mixed together. And I did enjoy it for what it was. It was Pokemon. It felt like Pokemon. The only way I can sort of describe it is you can get certain bands that always make the same sort of music. That always make the same sort of sound of music, and every song can sound the same. Where you can get some bands that, make a certain style of music, but every song sounds different. This is how I feel with Pokemon. I feel like they're one band, but they keep making the same style of song, and each song sounds the same. It's not bad within itself, it's just everything that they make is sort of echoing the next, and it's not, you can't really, you can imagine what they're going to do next with Pokemon. They haven't really changed up the formula. That's not bad. People like the formula, then fair enough, but for me, I like a little bit of variety. And that you could just say that's what Pokemon is, but to reinvent the wheel a little bit more, like, do we have to keep doing the 8th gym thing? Could we have a different sort of challenge? They tried that with Sun and Moon. They had the trials. That seemed okay. That worked alright with the community. Why couldn't we have that back, as an example? I don't know. I just feel like more potential could have been had here. And even with the Switch, how powerful the Switch is, it's running Breath of the Wild. And I know Breath of the Wild is a great game and it's made by completely different people, and whatever the case may be, if you want to say that, Breath of the Wild, don't compare it, but I'm going to. To me, in my eyes, what I would have really wanted from Game Freak would be a Breath of the Wild sort of similar design, in the way you go after all of the Guardians in Breath of the Wild. Why don't we just have 8 gyms, or 8 gym masters, or 8 big people that we have to fight? Do you know what I mean? Why can't we have a big open world Pokemon game where you have to go to different areas and sort of, in a way make one area harder than the next? So for example, in at the beginning area have like low level Pokemon, as every Pokemon game would have, but then in a certain area near the end of the game have, level 50, 60, 70 Pokemon. Just so, when you start off with the game, you can get there, you can walk there, but you can't do a lot there because there's a lot of enemies in the way. So it kind of restricts you in a way, but kind of can't. I don't know. This is kind of just a video that I want to make in the future, just talking about what I do with Pokemon. Still have the core gameplay there. Still have what gets the fans in, Still have the turn-based thing, but change it up a little bit. And the only way I can really describe Pokemon Sword and Shield is the analogy of a band. A band makes... I can't really give any examples of this specifically, but if you can imagine a band that makes the same sort of music over and over again, and the sounds that they make, each song sounding the same, this is what Pokemon feels like, where you can get another band where they have a sort of similar genre or a similar style, but each song sounds different. This is what Pokemon feels like. So I don't know. And another analogy in the video game world is, yes, each system has a core mainline Mario game, but they each feel different in like an own unique way. They have a gimmick where the Pokemon games all sort of feel like they follow the same formula, but they change a little bit. So yes, we've made an improvement of the wild area, which I'll give them that. Fair enough. You've added the wild area, 3D camera, a little bit of an open space. That's good. That's good, Game Freak. Expand on that. It just, I feel like a little bit not enough was done really with this, and I feel like a lot of people thought that as well. But at its core, it's not bad. It's just what you expect at this point. It is Pokemon. It's very Pokemon-y. I'd like them to sort of evolve, and I'm not a massive fan of the series, so I've liked them. I've played about 4 or 5 mainline games. They all sort of feel very, very samey to me, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just sort of my opinion. And if you liked Pokemon Sword and Shield, then fair enough, fair play to you. Go and play it. It's your opinion, enjoy it. But in my opinion, while I did think it was okay, the Pokemon thing is starting to get a little bit samey to me. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe because I wasn't a huge fan in the first place, just sort of a casual fan. Maybe that's why, but as it is right now, I thought it was just okay. And I really hope Game Freak does more in the future to sort of evolve the series to what I think it has the potential to be. And there we go. That is all the main first-party Nintendo Switch games that I played this year. You might have played Fire Emblem, you might have played Tetris 99, you might have played some other third-party or first-party Nintendo Switch games that came out this year. You might have played Super Kirby Clash, you might have played whatever the case may be. Whatever you've played this year, I hope you had a great 2019. I've had a great 2019. That's all the first-party games I enjoyed. But if I had to narrow it down to one game, what game would I pick? What would be my game of the year? And I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've come to the conclusion that I can't really do that. I can't, bring myself to make a game of the year. I've had to do it in different categories. This be a massive social multiplayer game that I play a lot with friends. That's one category. I've put it down to a third-party non-Nintendo game that I played this year and really enjoyed. And I've narrowed it down to my favourite thing this year. My favourite first-party Nintendo game of the year. So let's jump right into that. Now, for the first category I want to talk about is the multiplayer social games. Now, these are games that maybe I've played on stream, or maybe I've played them with friends a lot this year, and I've had to do a joint sort of, two-parter to this. I've had to put two games together that I really enjoyed playing this year with friends or on stream or whatever the case may be, and the two games I have to pick are Fortnite and Minecraft. I feel like these games have sort of echoed each other and sort of balanced between them this year, and it's been really, really fun playing Fortnite this year. I'll admit, it's sort of a meme to play Fortnite, but I have really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed playing Season 7, going into the year. Season 8 with all the pirates was great. Season 9 and 10 started to, sort of fade out a little bit, and that's where Minecraft came in, but we'll get onto that in a minute. And I've also really enjoyed the new season of Fortnite, really jumping back in with friends to a simpler version of Fortnite. And it's just sort of more fun because it is more simple. And I'll be honest, the gameplay of Fortnite is very repetitive and very, do one thing over and over again, but it's the grinding of the skins and, sharing skins with people and saying, oh, I've got this skin, you've got that skin, and it's just an experience with friends that I've really enjoyed this year. There's a lot of time I've spent speaking with friends and playing the game this year, and it's been a big part of 2019 in my opinion, Fortnite this year. And the same goes for Minecraft. I never got into it in the big phase, kicked off, here's Minecraft, here's everybody playing it. I never got into Stampy, I never got into anything like that. And, that was fine for the people, they got into it, fair enough. I just wasn't for me at the time. I got the Switch version of last year of Minecraft, and we had a little bit of a server, and, it was okay, we played it every now and then, but, I upgraded the server this year, we started the server fresh, brand new server. I've really enjoyed streaming it on SNF, same for Fortnite, but, yeah, brand new server with Minecraft, I really, really do enjoy that, and that's the way it is, I've had a lot of fun playing Minecraft this year. More friends have got Minecraft. There's been certain people out there that are on Xbox and I would never have played with because we can't really do anything with Switch, but Minecraft has that amazing capability of doing the crossplay, which is amazing. That means we could play together. Most of the games on Switch apart from Fortnite don't really have that crossplay, so it's great to see that people that I'd never thought I'd be able to play with are able to play with me on Minecraft, which is why I've really enjoyed it this year too. Now, for my favourite third-party Nintendo Switch game of the year, that goes to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Now, it was on Switch, it was on Xbox and everything. I played it on Switch. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it because I've never really seen a game, a racing game, be as fleshed out as the CTR has. It's got its story mode, which is great. You unlock the characters from that. It's got the online mode, and it's got like a battle pass system, which may turn a lot of people off, but I really like the battle pass system of unlocking things and getting new stuff. And I like that this game is sort of, it is a remake, but the developers have really taken it to the next level and keep adding new content to it, which is really, really cool. It kind of reminds me of Splatoon, how we'd always used to get a new stage every month and some new weapons, where in this game we get like seasons every single month with a new track, and loads of new characters, loads of new content, and just a lot of stuff crammed into this game. Now, yeah, I'll admit, I am a fan of Crash Bandicoot franchise. That's why I wanted to Smash so much, but I feel like even if you wasn't a fan to begin with of Crash Bandicoot and you bought this game for what it was, you'll really enjoy it because of the amount of content you get. Well, at least I really enjoyed it. Some people don't really like the drifting in this game, which is fair enough, but I really enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed the drifting. This game's up there in terms of Mario Kart. They are very, very different games, but they're kind of on the same level, if that makes sense. I've really enjoyed this game. I'll be honest, I really, really enjoyed this game, and I think it's great that we got Spyro in the game, because I never thought we'd get Spyro, and we did, so yeah. I don't know, really enjoyed this game, third party game of the year. 65 hours on Switch, which is pretty good. I quite like it, it's good. So there you go, my third party game for Nintendo Switch of the year. hold on, before we go any further and reveal my final first party game of the year, I think it would be fun to take a look back at some of the littler games that I've played this year and sort of the games that have come out and what I've really done within this year as a whole, what I've been excited for, what sort of let me down, the rest of it, what I enjoyed, just what was 2019 in general. Now, one game I have really enjoyed seeing the new content for this year has been Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. While the content hasn't been my favourite, it isn't what I picked, it's not what I would have picked. Some of the characters I don't think I really knew at the start, but I think it's been a really good year for Smash. I've really liked seeing the 5 characters be revealed, or the 4 characters being revealed. I thought we'd get a 5th at the Game Awards, so I'm having to re-record this now, but yeah, I've really enjoyed this year. Of course, this year was peaked for me when Banjo was revealed. That was great. But in general, I've really enjoyed Super Smash Bros. This year. They've added lots more content to it with the Miis and everything else, and just a really fun game. Just a really fun game that I really enjoyed this year. And I'll be honest, it came out very late on last year, so it was kind of like a 2019 game, but a 2018 game. It was weird, but this year is where I've really sort of played the game a lot more. At about 100 hours or so, really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun with it. Of course, Banjo is my highlight of the year for the game. And I would have bought the Fighter Pass, realising I was going to buy them all, because I would have saved a little bit of money there. But yeah, very good. I have really enjoyed Super Smash Bros. This year. Yeah. I'm going forward, I'm going to keep playing it. It's been a lot of fun playing it, and it's better than I first thought. Another game that took me by surprise this year, and I played a decent amount, was Tetris 99, the free-to-play Nintendo Switch online game, which basically just Tetris Battle Royale. Really enjoyed this one. I like how they keep updating it and all the good stuff. And do like Tetris. I like Tetris Online, and everything is good with it. So yeah, really do like Tetris 99. I also played a lot of Cuphead this year. I really like Cuphead. I don't know if it was sort of my thing because it was really hard, but I got into it. I really enjoyed it. Did enjoy Cuphead very much. I know there's a whole thing of it taking forever to come out on Switch, but for the time I've spent with it, I've really enjoyed it. It is hard, I know, but yeah, really good game. I really do like Cuphead. Very good game, and yeah, it is £17-18 on Nintendo eShop, but it is still a pretty good game for what it is. Alright, so here we go. It's finally time to reveal my game of the year for first party Nintendo, and to be honest, just in general, this is my game of 2019. If I had to pick one game of this year, this is it. Drum roll, please. That's right, my personal favourite game of this year, that being Nintendo made game, that being third party game, that being social online multiplayer game, the game that ticks all the boxes in my opinion, is Super Mario Maker 2. Yes, it might not be perfect, it might have some problems that I do have with it, but they're fixing that, and I'll be honest, this is the game that I had the most amount of enjoyment out of. This is the game I spent the most amount of time with. I think it's the best game that I streamed this year. I'm kind of lost for words really, but yeah, Mario Maker 2 is the best game of the year. And with that being said, this pretty much wraps up the SNF Christmas Special 2019, my Nintendo 2019, and thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed it. We do have one last final little thing to share with you, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you for an amazing 2019. Thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Goodbye, everybody.